have also.
The 2K Sports Pregame Show.
This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, happy to be here with my partners, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the Los Angeles Clippers. Well, for the Clippers, their first time playing these guys this season. A year ago, going 1-2. They'd like to improve on that this go-around. And Kenny, we have lots to talk about. One thing coming up on the horizon, the trade deadline. Front offices have had time to evaluate rosters. What are your feelings about blockbuster in-season trades?
Huge deals are rare in the season. You know,
huge
typically
deals.
Huge deals. You know, but typically they come in the offseason because teams have time to nurture and bring them together. But there have been some great trades in mid-season. So you can find new life right after the trade deadline, a la Clyde Drexler of the Houston Rockets, to get us our second championship.
Good point. New players would be slow to acclimate. But, Ernie, I think at times you risk disrupting chemistry.
Sometimes worth the risk and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't.
Kevin Harlan, take it away.
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
I never want to waste your time. My life, so precious. It's yours, it's mine. Hey, look at the time. My God, so precious. It's yours, it's mine.
Welcome to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge is our sideline reporter. And also joining us on the sidelines, the league's most valuable player in 2004, Kevin Garnett. KG, it is great to have you with us.
Okay, how you been, man? It's good to see you,
Waiting for you to sit right here next to us. That's what I've been waiting for.
Thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Can't wait to get inside your impressions of this game. It'll be a lot of fun. A contest in the West. We'll see if the Timberwolves can please this home crowd. This, their first look at this year's Los Angeles squad. And last year, they were able to take the edge in the series thanks to some clutch play.
Yeah, and a 4-game season series between these two. Both will be looking to set the tone tonight.
We know whichever team makes the best adjustments on the fly will have the best chance of emerging victorious in this first meeting.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Well, guys, you know, sometimes it can be a problem when you have as much talent as the Timberwolves do on their team. And it's a lot of offensive talent as well. So are there enough touches for everybody? Now, Karl Anthony Towns says yes. He says, no matter what, we are all going to eat. There is enough food on the table for all of us. Kevin, this is always a problem for you, but we're going to let you eat first.
All right, G, not a problem. I ordered more than enough for all of us. Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. You know, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You know, you're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, you know, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
And the Clippers starting 5. We've got Johnson. DeAndre Jordan is out there with Harrell. Then it's Williams. And it's Rivers in at the point. Now here's Rivers. following the miss by Taj Gibson. And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That's his first foul. And, Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who have been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Here's Harrell after the basket by Minnesota. Williams with the ball. Butler covering. Towns with the steal. And the dunk by Towns.
Boy, you love his toughness. You can tell that this young guy cares. The game is important to Karl Anthony Towns.
Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Waller was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. Say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed in which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up it together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right. And both free throws good for Wiggins. And, Kevin, your last couple years, you got to mentor some young players. Karl Anthony Towns comes to mind. How good do you think he can be?
Man, Cat is the next. He is what I call the next of the next. Yes, he has the pedigree. He has the work ethic. He has the IQ. Most importantly, the desire. When you talk about players being better, I always like to think about if players know history. He understands history. He's been here before. If you follow him through his high school years, he's always wanted to be an anchor. He's always wanted to be a very informative person. He looks for knowledge. He seeks a lot of knowledge. He wants to know what he's up against as far as history. Who am I chasing? What's his number? How many rebounds did he get? What did he do?
Andrew Wiggins should get a 10 for degree of difficulty. That was beautiful.
That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles. They come into this one following the loss to the Mavericks.
Yeah, that was more than just a tough loss. That was a complete embarrassment.
Look, Greg, they simply didn't bring it. And that's one of those losses that you just have to throw away and forget about.
And, Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show, Area 21, has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. Say, continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it, so, hopefully it shows.
Timberwolves on offense. Good momentum, 14 straight points. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not. Do not age.
Man, listen, I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man. Man, what's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you? Seriously?
Broadcast in the NBA, 20 years, and then 12 years with 2K.
You're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best. You understand, my dude? Straight up.
That's why
look at that. How about the creativity, the athleticism? That's a rare combination for a guy his size. Go to work, Cat.
Rivers kicks to Harrell. That's tipped. And here we go. Towns heading to the hoop. And the dunk by Towns.
And really focused on establishing dominance down low. And, guys, it's working.
Oh, no doubt. I think they've controlled the paint. They've used their size and strength to get off any shot they want.
And the Clippers call time here.
Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against them right now.
But, Greg, no resistance, right? They're allowing them to get any kind of shot they want close. That simply can't happen.
And here we can check out the breakdown of rebounds tonight between the front court and the back court for Minnesota.
And you can see the massive amount of rebounding being done by the front court. They are banging bodies and just fighting for everything down there. And really, guys, I think the key to why they are enjoying this big lead.
Clippers trail by 20. And KG, you're retired from the game now, and you're stepping into the broadcast business a little bit now, aren't you?
Man, you see me?
How do you like it?
You know what? Area 21 is something that is authentic. It's me. I'm having a great time watching the games. It's really cool being a fan now. I can root for people I want to root for. I don't have to worry about preparing and who I'm going to guard. And I'm getting to teach. So, you know what? It's a great time. It's work. It's not just you go on there and you have a bunch of fun. We actually get some things done, but we have a great time, man.
You're a natural.
Hey, Kev, listen, watching you, being around you, man, the great, rest in peace to Craig, Ernie, Charles, all these great influences, man, has definitely helped, not just me, but our younger generations of broadcasters, man. It's totally, I didn't see this being my lane, but I'm having fun with it.
Doing a great job.
A team's rebounding is a great measure of its energy, and theirs has been terrific here in the first quarter.
They grab their own miss. He gets that one.
And that ends the frustration. They've been ice cold to start this one.
Well, hopefully that gets their juices flowing, right? Once that first shot falls, it's typically a big relief.
And, guys, they've come out and established a rhythm. And also their play calling has been on point.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how they've built this lead. They played as one, shared the basketball, running their offense to perfection.
Rivers can't get it to go.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
Goes right through for bucket number 3. He's a perfect 3 for 3 to start.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
And it's Towns penetrating. Second shot opportunity. Taj Gibson again. Gibson's got 6.
And I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders.
Rivers kicks to Johnson. It's Harold, top of the key. Here's Jordan. Makes it off the glass. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. You know, the time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. And Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long, had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the ones.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter. You know, it's going to be tough to win when you give the other team second and third opportunities to score the ball.
Minnesota shooting their 3rd free throw attempt of the game. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Bielitsa, he checks in for Gibson. Muhammad comes in for Andrew Wiggins. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Jimmy Butler. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Teague. The free throw drops for Towns.
You know, funny thing is, in his only season at the University of Kentucky, he didn't start. And yet Karl Anthony Towns becomes the #1 pick in the draft. So unusual.
The pass to Thornwell. Reed, a screen on Crawford. Feeds it to Decker. Shot clock at 6. An easy layup after coming off the pick. And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute, I'll tell you that.
Man,
a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say it.
Shh, okay.
Keep it between.
Okay. And Kev, you think of the great ones. You, Kobe, I mean Jordan,
Timmy,
yeah. How about him? They worked harder than anybody else, Kevin.
And what you learn is that the similarity or the parallel that you all have is our inner animal that you never speak about. You know, we're all a little off. We're all a little dark, but that's what pushes you through pain. That's what pushes you through tough moments. When someone says you can't, when someone says this is not possible, this is unreal, no one's ever done it, that's the moment you're looking for. The moment someone told Kobe that he couldn't get over 50, 60, something Jordan couldn't do, he was driven in that. And if Phil wouldn't have stopped him, he probably would have reached 100 points.
He probably would have, yeah.
You know, he did Wilt Chamberlain a favor. And that's just real. He was in that type of mode. We all share that passion. We all share that drive. And the ones that have that inner darkness, we all understand.
It's like a split personality, huh?
It's almost like another level.
Yeah.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
Right, the effort could have been so much better. You've got to be willing to fight through that screen. There's no question about it.
I don't know if you can do it any better on both ends than they have tonight.
I don't think you can ask for anything more, Greg. What a wonderful job establishing a lead early in this one. Well, I wouldn't say the D was exceptional, but it certainly was enough to bother him.
Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, And then Chris Webber. Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah.
That's a big part of Shabazz Muhammad's game. He's unafraid of contact. You get the sense sometimes he relishes it.
Evans passes to Thornwell. The feed now to Reed. Clippers moving the ball around. Williams for three. Minnesota with the rebound. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
And, you know, this can happen on the road. You're out defending guys who have just gotten into a comfort zone playing at home.
No passion on the defensive end. Didn't look completely engaged. Really need to lock in and be focused on these road games.
Troubled by Crawford. And the wide open shot from Decker. He sticks that one in from 20 feet away. Decker's got his second bucket of the game to go. And KG, talk about how the greats can just impose their will.
It's almost like another level. Yeah. When you see LeBron, what he did to Detroit in that fourth quarter, that's a blackout. You don't know what you're doing. When you see Cole go for 81, when you see Chauncey come down on a one, these players are blacking out. These are elite players in elite moments, taking the moment. Paul Pierce is one of the best that I've ever seen grab a moment and savor it and just put it in slow-mo. And nothing speeds special plays. But I get a front row seat of seeing them. Ray Allen, the same thing. Had a great composure about himself to slow himself down and hit pressure shots. Tim Duncan, same thing.
Thornwell, the pass to Evans. He kicks it to Decker. A three-pointer off the mark. This has been a one-sided affair.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Crazy.
That's a beautiful jam.
Well, strong, quick, impressive ups by Muhammad.
Over to the wing for three. Decker can't hit. Now the Timberwolves with it. They're on a 12-4 run right now. Good work there as it goes.
Oh, great ball movement there.
26 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
Jones against Evans. Reed a screen. And now here comes Jones leading the break. And he uses the glass on the layup. Jones has got his second bucket of the night.
Exceptional play across the board. I love their tenacity, just piling it on at this point.
You know, and the beauty is it hasn't just been offense, right? It's been the defensive end as well. They're firing on all cylinders right now.
It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota. What an amazing quarter. There was absolutely no stopping him. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And one of our game's most explosive dunkers, DeAndre Jordan, tells us what it feels like to be DeAndre Jordan.
And you jump 20 feet in the air, it's like you're flying for a quick second. And then I've learned that how good the dunk was on the reaction of my teammates.
And for a guy like DeAndre, and a guy of DeAndre's size, guys, it's hard to believe how fluid he is in the air.
He's got some body torque into those jams, and just all around he seems to improve his game every year.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And guys, we've seen a confident-looking Timberwolves team out there.
I love the fact that they're getting so many of their points at the rim. Just a solid first period.
Well, Greg, playing bully basketball on the block. Every opportunity they've wanted at the rack, they've got it.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. So for the Clippers right now, we've got Reed. Decker is out there with Williams. And it's Thornwell in at the two-guard position. And Muhammad gets it to go. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter-style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition, too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to the spacing that we have now.
I did, and I'd like to say that, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here to the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense, Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special. Right. And that's how that felt.
13 feet away, and that's off the glass and in. Zhang's got 6.
And a lot of teams avoid the mid-range jumper, but they seem to be using it well.
Evans dishes to Reed. And no good that time. And Minnesota will come the other way.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
And a surprise he doesn't knock that down. Defense a little too lax that time.
On the wing, Williams. No good on the 3 for Minnesota. They've gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, at 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college. And I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life.
Which you did.
Which I did.
Yes.
And, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. No, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman, wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you. And you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Zhang, and finished off by Zhang.
Yeah, you can't afford to let Gorgui Zhang float around on the offensive glass. He's going to find a way to hurt you.
Los Angeles has gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, C. Webb was kind of he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time, I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball.
Yeah.
So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off and showcase.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like, oh, my God,
but look
I don't
at what
want to bring the ball
right?
up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh, my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. And he was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? Or how would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest, and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout to Dex. Shout to Bug. Shout to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Towns is checked in. Pass to Johnson. Kept alive. And counted. And a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Yeah, and it's the long arms of Jordan, staying active on the boards for these high-percentage putbacks.
Kevin, you were so successful jumping from high school to pros. What do you think about the current situation now, the age of 19, the minimum to go to the draft?
I'm always be a fan of the younger kids being able to have the opportunity. I don't like when you put parameters. I could see if college was really teaching these kids and really giving them a solid situation to be able to have something to defer to. But, these kids are not learning at the rate that you would like them to learn in college. And plus, they're not staying in college to these great institutions to be able to apply some of the things they're learning. So I just think that they need...
They're basketball players.
They're basketball players, but they should have the opportunity to take advantage of if you're able to play at 17, 18 like I was. Not saying that every kid's going to have that, but you have obviously the D-League. You have all these multiple leagues throughout the world and where kids go to play. Some kids have missed out just because of that 1 year and some mishaps. And you sit here and you can say, for business is good for this. Listen, the business is what it's going to be. We need to develop and have these kids be professionals more than anything. We need to grow these kids from a skill level and an appetite level. Our game was built off for one to be better than the ones that's come before us. You know what I'm saying? When Lou Alcindor came in here, he was, a.k.a. obviously Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was more encouraged to beat out Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell more than anything. And then that starts to trickle down from the effect of from Jordan wanting to be better than Larry Bird and Magic to Kobe wanting to be better than, it's the same thing. It's being trickled down. And when I think of greatness, I think, it's going to follow. It's going to be shadows and at some point.
Well, late rotation by the defense, and Wiggins has the vision to find the open man.
Now Rivers. 9 points last game. Regular season grind, 82 games in the regular season. In your opinion, is that the right amount of games for teams to play, or would you like to see the schedule shortened where there's more practice in between, more days of rest, more days to recuperate?
Man, look.
You got a big smile on your face.
For the old school, Kev, 82 games is how you got to come through it. Listen.
It's a war, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? This is the tradition of it, man. This is what it is, bro. If you don't want to go through this and go through this hall and this road of this journey, then cool. Go to another league. They got shorter games. They got other awards that you can, This is the NBA. This is what it is. This is the grind of it. And ones that have come before you have done it, just like the ones that's after you is going to do it. This is what it is, bro.
And Gibson over to help. The dish to Williams. He feeds it to Johnson. Off target with his 3.
I'll tell you, he's had a tough night. And if you're going to shake out of a slump, he is not going to do it with those kinds of shots.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Williams kicks to Jordan. Pass to Rivers. There's the triple. The rebound by Gibson. Gibson's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one.
And another miss. Oof. He's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right. Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line currently, the hack of Drummond, hack of Shaq, all this stuff, hack of DeAndre Jordan. What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on their free throw. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points, as they should, as any sport, and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses. He's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
At some point, he has to stop shooting. How is this helping his team?
Here's Towns, and he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Do. Brian Dew, who was our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. Williams, with a clean look, drills the three-pointer. Williams has got 7 points here in this quarter. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, I only know one way to
go
accomplish
it with
something.
gusto, right?
You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
You can't walk through the park with this game,
Not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. So, for the Clippers, Williams, he's checked in for Harrell, and Thornwell subbed in for Lou Williams. And the Clippers have possession. And Gibson over to help.
And that's his 4th foul. And we're not even at halftime. That is going to limit his playing time and his aggressiveness the rest of the game.
The Clippers have made 3 free throws so far.
Gentlemen,
haven't missed any.
2 shots.
And they've been ordinary on the season as well, just about 75% from the line.
And he makes the first. And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
Those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You open up yourself to try to, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you're very cordial. And, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had the chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil is super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, shout to Doc. And, I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay connected, stimulated. He would always tell us to never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear. Clock is at 3. From deep, Evans. The Clippers rebound. That one doesn't go.
I'll tell you, it'd be a big help if he could snap out of this cold streak. His shooting has been hurting them.
That one goes. Count it.
Well, this is the classic hot hand, right? If he can keep it up, their lead will be safe.
Lobs it up for Jordan. Well-placed alley-oop pass into the layup.
Oh, and just a soft touch on both ends of that pretty alley-oop.
I got to say, when he threw the pass, I didn't know where it was going.
The plan of attack is obvious. Get the ball inside and go strong to the rim.
The Clippers shooting 41% from the field in the second quarter up to this point. Evans kicks to Williams. Passes it to Reed. Some nice ball movement by the Clippers. And again, DeAndre Jordan. Jordan's got 13.
He has certainly done his part this period. Just needs to get a little more help from his teammates.
And Muhammad gets it to go.
Well, the talent is there. You just keep waiting for Muhammad to find that consistent force.
Great to have you with us, KG, and enlightening experience. Come back and join us sometime, okay?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Anytime.
You were terrific. You were terrific. You were great.
K-Hall, you always made me look good, man. Since 95, man. We've been doing this a long time, my dude.
Great to see you.
Thank you, dog.
And Doris, one of the things that really strikes me about KG, he's as smart as he is athletically gifted. What a treat to have him join us tonight.
Well, I'm in awe of his enthusiasm. And it's not just when he's talking, but when others are talking as well. There's so much life to the conversation. Everything he brought to the court for 21 years, he now brings to the booth.
Guys, fast break points right now in their favor, and they're really pushing the tempo.
And Jones over to help. To the wing on the left, Thornwell. Los Angeles with another miss. And there's the foul. It'll go on Willie Reed. That's his first foul. And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Jang, he's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Bielitsa comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Crawford in for Jimmy Butler. And the Clippers with a change here too. Decker's checked in. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Bielitsa misses. And Los Angeles guys shooting at a 32% clip from the field. They're just not executing. Evans with it. Jones covering. Decker can't hit. It's Bielitsa. Here's Muhammad. And he banks in the layup. Muhammad's got 8 points in the quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, doing work on the offensive end, Muhammad, much more inspired rebounder when it comes to this side.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves, able to put on a show for the ages. Their defense has been active and effective. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thank you. Jeff, you guys had a great first half. Is the key to the second half to continue to be that aggressive?
Yeah, we got to play defense. They're a really good team. They're going to play hard. They're real physical. We just got to come out and keep guarding.
Jeff, thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny the Jet Smith. That's Shaquille O'Neal. Thanks for joining us. And boy, a pumped-up home crowd is behind us right now. What a start it was for Karl Anthony Towns. He had 27 points, 5 steals, and 1 block. And Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
There's so many things you could say about the development of Karl Anthony Towns. Just as accurate from the outside as he is in the post. Defends on the perimeter and the rim.
And over to Shaq. Now your take on the Clippers.
Well, they're obviously facing a hot shooting team tonight. That combined with a lackluster effort on defense, recipe for disaster, Ernie. Without major improvements defensively, this game is OVA. Over.
So that'll do it for now as we send you courtside with Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K crew for the start of the second half.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
And how about that? Already through 2 quarters and some change, he's got a double-double.
I'll tell you, he took over the game in that first half, Greg. They really have got to find a way to slow this guy down.
Of course, you've been a color analyst for both men's basketball, women's basketball. Stylistically, what's the difference, in your opinion, between the two, if anything?
Well, I think there are a number of differences. The primary one being athleticism is slowly starting to take shape and more dictate the outcome of success in women's basketball, whereas athleticism has always been a part of dictating the outcome of games. The above-the-rim aspect of the NBA versus, for the most part, the below-the-rim aspect of the WNBA. That would be the primary difference for me.
But the fundamentals, too, sometimes stand out. The women's game, I think, really you can see fundamentals so strongly.
You can, Kevin, and I think what helped the women's game tremendously was, especially in the WNBA, you had NBA coaches transition to roles in the WNBA, the Bill Lambiers, the Mike Tebow, so they taught that group how to be pros, how to win on that level.
Excellent point. Wiggins at small forward with Gibson at the 4. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. And it's Towns in at the 5 roaming the paint. So that's who Tom Thibodeau starts the second half with. And when Andrew Wiggins came into the league, there was a lot of fanfare and lofty expectations placed upon him. Many in the league thought he'd be the next big wing star in the league. And Doris, while the hype might have gotten carried away a little bit, Wiggins has shown he's a force on the court.
Right, he's dealing with a couple of things. The hype coming out of college and also being involved with the trade for Kevin Love. There's a lot to live up to there, but this guy has shown an outstanding ability to live up to the #1 pick label. This guy's a franchise talent no matter how you look at it.
Williams kicks to Rivers. He dishes it to Jordan. The pass to Rivers. The 3. Minnesota with the rebound. Towns has got 10 rebounds here tonight. So active. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Boy, it's fun to watch the growth of Andrew Wiggins over just a few years in the NBA, right? He can score from multiple spots. He continues to refine that offensive game.
The Timberwolves knocked down 8 of 9 free throw attempts. I'd say those numbers read pretty well. And the first one at the line is good. And with Wiggins, the clear development doors in his game has come from how versatile he is at scoring, good off the dribble or on the catch and shoot.
Well, and think about it, Kev. For Andrew, that's only going to get better with age. He continues to strengthen his footwork. There's a little bit of DeMar DeRozan and Kobe in terms of his ability in the mid-range.
Off on that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line.
I think Wiggins will always be remembered in that monster trade for Kevin Love a while ago. You don't see many trades like that in the NBA.
Rivers with it. They double him with Wiggins. 6 to shoot. Off his foot. And the official saying it was kicked. Now here's Williams. Rivers gets a wide open look.
Well, an 0 for 3 start to the second half. They're going to have to start tightening things up on the offensive end. I think tonight is a great measure of Wiggins' progress, scoring in volume in a variety of ways.
And that replay sponsored by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment, giving us an excellent perspective on the play. Here's Rivers, and he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game.
Well, it took 4 tries, but they get their first bucket in the second half.
And Wiggins throws it down.
Oh, the electricity of Andrew Wiggins can really elevate around the rim.
Rivers against T. Harrell, the pass to Rivers. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. And now a chance to take a look at the shot chart for Los Angeles.
Well, it's pretty clear that they are having a lot of trouble in the mid-range. It isn't exactly the shot they are hoping to get, but when they have taken those shots, they just don't seem to capitalize. I would hope they try to go at the rim a little more as this game carries on and stop settling for jump shots.
And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Shots good by Butler. Butler's got 9.
Now, Kev, that's the explosiveness we talk about. Butler, even in traffic, draining the highly contested shot. Wow.
Williams with the ball. Butler covering. Rivers can't get it to go.
Not how they hope to start the second half, missing 4 of their first 5 here.
Yep, it counts.
What a quick read by Towns, always keeping his head up.
The Clippers have gone only 1 of 5 from the field since halftime. A very slow start offensively. Picked by Harrell for 3. Williams nailed from three-point land. Williams has got 6 points in the quarter.
Yeah, that's 2 straight three-pointers they've allowed.
And it's Wiggins with the jam.
Well, a point guard must understand window of opportunity, and Jeff Teague specializes in exactly that.
Clippers have gone 2 of 6 from the field here in the third. Jordan with a screen on Teague. Rivers against Teague. Trying to break that ice-cold streak, and he gets it back. Hacked and still knocked it down. Nice composure. Los Angeles shooting their 6th attempt at the charity stripe in the game.
One shot.
Doris, what an honor. Inducted into your college's Hall of Fame, something not many of us can say. What does that kind of honor do for the confidence for you personally going forward?
You know what? Providence College is a place that means a great deal to me. So what that Hall of Fame induction did was just remind me of all the special memories that I shared with my teammates. I'm close with many of them today. And Kevin, you know this. You know, if you've ever been inside a locker room, it's those moments when you're laughing until your stomach hurts. I'd say we were the Hall of Fame fun team. That's what I'd say.
I think we're on the fun team here on 2K. Johnson with it. Now defended by Wiggins. Harrell kicks to Rivers. Teague on the double team. Dishes it to Jordan. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
Well, he just gets ahead of himself and throws it away, right? You've got to have better focus than that.
Timeout called. First of the game for Minnesota.
Well, you think about Tom Thibodeau as the architect of so many great defensive teams. For Minnesota, it took some time on the defensive end, but he feels like this team is starting to turn a corner on that end.
A chance to look at some stats for Rivers. How his last 10 games have gone. He's averaging 14 points a game, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. And those numbers, solid, not spectacular, and sometimes what you see is what you get.
There's no doubt. This is a guy who understands his role, knows he's got to give you quality minutes, and that's what they expect from him.
To the paint. Williams can't hit. The Timberwolves have gone as spotless, 6 of 6 from the field since taking the court here in the second half.
Well, Taj Gibson, a terrific athlete, easily gets off the floor to finish with authority.
Kicks to Jordan. Towns with the defensive effort.
Gets it to very close range, but there was no way the defense going to back off and give him that layup.
Here's Gibson. Score that one for him. His 8th field goal. 8 for 11 on a very accurate night.
And I like that they're not settling. Getting the ball on the interior. 8 of their last 10 coming that way.
Rivers kicks to Jordan. Feeds it to Williams. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. 15 points for Williams.
What a turnaround in the second half. So much more accurate overall.
And again, it's Minnesota converting.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Rivers kicks to Harrell. Johnson the screen. The feed now to Jordan. And stolen by Jeff Teague. And now the Timberwolves on the break. Towns with the ball.
And they're really in a good position here, thanks in part to the way he's been able to score the basketball.
LA has gone 2 of 5 with the 3-point shot since coming out of the break. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That'll be his second foul of the game. Doors for you in evaluating how good a player was over his career. You can look at analytics, statistics, whatever avenue you want to take. How important are the rings, the championships in that equation for you?
You know, I know there is some conversation that's saying if you don't have a ring, your career wasn't great. I would say this to you. Karl Malone and John Stockton are in no way diminished in terms of their Hall of Fame credentials simply because they lacked a ring. Sometimes it's the era within which you're operating. Michael Jordan was the greatest player of his generation. Some would say the greatest player of all time. I would say that Karl Malone and John Stockton, unfortunately, were at their peak, in the peak of maybe the greatest player, Michael Jordan. So in no way is someone like Patrick Ewing diminished in terms of his stature and greatness simply because the Knicks were never able to break through. I don't buy that argument.
You frame that so well.
2 shots.
And he makes the first. Doris, a lot of great catch-and-shoot players in this league, but who's the best right now at creating space for his shot off the dribble?
I'd say respectively the point guards that we saw in the NBA Finals, Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving, and they go about their business a little bit differently. Obviously, it's the handle of Kyrie Irving and his ability to not only navigate tight spaces, but his ability to finish with both hands and the creativity and the English sometimes necessary. For Steph Curry, it's the majesty and the danger of guarding the three-point shot, which then he combines with that ability to shake and bake and go off the dribble. Really tough contains both of them.
I like how you mentioned the finish, because the finish sometime you can get in there and make it look great, but you can't get the two.
You got to put the points on the board, baby.
Here's Williams. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. And Doris, as many NBA teams are doing, the Minnesota Timberwolves now have their own G League affiliate.
Well, and to me, this is a smart move by the organization, Kev, because it gives them a lot of flexibility in how they develop players. It's a very useful tool given their young talent. Only positives have come from teams purchasing G League affiliates.
Throw good, Lou Williams.
And the Clippers are known as a high wire act, and rightfully so with their stars. This team is also one that can at times lock it down defensively. I don't think they get enough credit for what they do on that side of the ball.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Gorgie Dangs checked in for Towns. Bielitsa comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Crawford in for Jimmy Butler. And both free throws good for Lou Williams. The Clippers not a team known for their defense, but quite often the last few years, it's been the deciding factor for them in games.
Yeah, and I think it starts with the pressure they place on ball handlers. They can throw double teams or pick up far out from the hoop. They've got shot blocking inside to erase mistakes as well.
Now off the inbound, and Rivers with the basket on the assist by Decker. And that's now 11 points for Austin Rivers.
Boy, that's a bang-bang play on the inbounds pass. I like those quick hitters. His high percentage shot right at the rim, and he's wondering what happened.
Poked loose and stolen by Jang. 13 feet away. Rebound by Williams. Los Angeles has gotten the three-pointer to fall to the tune of 50% here in the third quarter. They've made 3 of 6.
And being over the limit this early really can affect your aggressiveness defensively. They have got to play under control.
He's made all 3 of his free throws so far.
And you know, something I remember from their last game was how good he was at the line.
And he knocks down the first one. And Doris, at the end of last season, the Timberwolves debuted their rebrand plans for this season.
Well, it was the right time, I think, to keep the logo fresh, and the team did a great job. You feel as if this will be the constant look for what is a new era in Minnesota basketball.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Willie Reed, he was checked in for DeAndre Jordan. And it's Williams in for Wesley Johnson.
And Williams is sort of the classic instant offense guy. Whether he's coming off the bench or starting, he can provide a spark whenever they need one. Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. The D had better start buckling down.
They get it back. Reed. And that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Reed's got 6 points.
Well, he doesn't quit on that play. Just stays with it and gets some easy points on the putback. That's nice.
It's Bielitsa, and that one is stuffed right through.
Boy, nice team basketball being played right there. You see the open man, and you deliver the ball right away.
Williams kicks to Rivers. Pass to Decker. Fires for 3. Wiggins with the rebound. Wiggins has got rebound number 5 here tonight.
Oh, fellas, that was vicious. 2-hand monster slam.
Guys, I don't think there was anyone who could have stopped him on that one. And taking care of the ball has been a problem for him.
That's something they've got to fix. While the defense has been good, a lot of these turnovers have been unforced.
Here's Rivers. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
And that's really a function of the offense not working as it should.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's not how you capitalize on the offensive end. You simply have to be more patient.
Crawford against Williams. Top of the key, Decker. Uncovered. Minnesota with the rebound. It's Bielitsa, and he goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
Just relentless. Really impressed with how they've been able to maintain that focus.
I think it's obvious, Greg. They want this win. They're showing no let-up in their attack right now.
A nice shot by Teague.
Well, Kevin, Jeff Teague leaks out perfectly, uses his speed to beat everybody up the floor.
And for the Clippers, they're shooting 42% from the field here in the third. Williams with the ball, picked up by Teague. Williams can't get it to go.
And they've just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Greg, I think this other team is just in a zone right now. They're clicking on the offensive end, and the defense starting to look frustrated.
Rivers kicks to Decker. Some nice ball movement by the Clippers. Reed a screen. Down to 5 on the shot clock. A nice shot by Rivers.
A steady screen set on that play, and the defense disappears. Nice communication between teammates to make that play work.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
And Los Angeles guys shooting a pretty low 34% thus far. Stolen. Poked away. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Crawford. And a look here at the shot chart for Gibson.
And when you come into a game with the mindset of going right at the rim and not settling for outside shots, this is what your shot chart will look like. Every chance they've had to either attack the paint or play back to the basket, they've taken it, and it's been a complete success thus far.
And here is Williams. 19 points in the game. He kicks it to Rivers. Doubled by Crawford. Williams from outside. Rebound, Minnesota. Jang's got 6 rebounds in the game. Crawford, no luck. 1:56 left to play here in the third. Over in the corner, Williams. This one for 3. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Bielitsa's got 4 rebounds now tonight, and plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up.
And looking now at some numbers for Teague. He's one of the standouts over the last month. He's putting up about 14 points a night, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. And with his great passing, he's been a catalyst for their offense, often seeing plays even before they materialize.
There's no doubt about that. Great anticipation, excellent peripheral vision. His talents are really shining through.
And that one falls for Jamal Crawford. Shabazz Muhammad's checked in for Minnesota. Jones comes in for Teague. The Clippers also making some changes. Thornwell, he's checked in for Williams. And it's Evans in for Austin Rivers. And so Jamal Crawford nails both of them. 1:44 left to play in the third. Here's Thornwell. Got a piece of it. Here's Jones. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Jones has got 6.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Reed against Jang. Back to Evans. From beyond the arc. Bangs home the trifecta. He's got 8.
Another triple. And that's been the story of this second half.
Boy, they have consistently been draining shots from deep, and that can take the heart out of an opponent.
Outside Williams. And what was that about? Not a good shot right there. Here's Muhammad. It's good, only a few seconds into the shot clock.
And that set them apart today, guys. Their success with the mid-range.
So far, we've seen them be a bit careless with the ball.
Simply put, out of control is how they've played thus far. They're going to have to reel it in and show some more discipline.
And for the Timberwolves, they're shooting the lights out in this building, 68% from the field. A stupendous finish in traffic. Muhammad's got 20 points.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Evans against Jones. And it's out of bounds to the Clippers as the Clippers retain possession. .11 seconds left in the third quarter. And Evans throws it down.
And ran his man straight into the screen and got a clear path to the bucket.
That is how it is done.
Great teamwork. That's something you develop by practicing it over and over again.
No good. And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Timberwolves ahead, running away with it. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this. And now we take a look back to Doc Rivers talking to his team from his huddle.
The little mistakes are the only reason they got this lead. You knew they were going to come out hard, all right? Even with that, it's more our mistakes that are getting them this lead, all right? We want to attack right here.
That makes a lot of sense. You want to attack every possession you get, and Doc Rivers certainly doesn't want turnovers to derail those efforts.
And guys, it's a fine line between playing aggressive and playing out of control. That's the trap that a coach wants to keep his team from falling into.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. And on the floor for the Clippers here in the fourth, we've got Johnson. Evans out there with Thornwell. Then it's Reed. And it's Williams at the 3 slot. 5 to shoot. Evans kicks to Johnson. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
Well, that's just taking your eyes off the target before releasing the pass. Very careless.
And the Clippers making a switch here. Wilson's checked in. Crawford left side. Here's Zhang. Lays it up off the glass.
Well, the thought was Zhang would never be much of a scorer, but I think he's changing people's minds.
The Clippers shooting just 34% from the floor. Johnson in the corner. A floater. Yes, and a nice assist from Evans.
I'll tell you, that's a graceful finish. Not just any old layup. The teardrop.
Yeah, and in terms of accuracy, they are dominating the second half.
Well, they're certainly connecting on a lot of shots in this second half, generating high percentage looks and really cashing in.
Johnson outside. Pass to Wilson. Hits it from three-point range.
And you're asking for more trouble than you can handle if you're going to let him just roam free from beyond the arc.
Here's Zhang. An easy 2 points on the layup. Zhang's got 8 here in the quarter.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
A little over a minute and a half of the fourth quarter gone now. Reed misses. The Timberwolves have gone a perfect 4 of 4 to start the final quarter. Can't ask for anything more than that. Zhang, no luck. Clippers have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Here's Evans. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. The Timberwolves shooting 69%, showing you what a well-oiled offense looks like tonight.
I'll tell you, Gorgui Zhang is improving and becoming a value at the center spot with all that length. He challenges shots. He's got a nice face-up touch. There's a lot to like with this guy.
And with Jang's length and touch, you feel comfortable playing him at either the 4 or the 5. And also versatile enough, Doris, to play as a starter or off the bench.
Right. It's hard to find a big man who does as much as Gorgui Dieng. He doesn't necessarily dominate in one area, but this guy always finds a way to contribute.
Shooting 2.
And he knocks down the first one. Doris, when you look at the NBA draft lottery, so many of the top guys coming out are one-and-dones. How is that, you think, affecting the way the NBA game is played and coached?
Well, obviously it can take time because the one-and-dones are typically 18, 19, or 20, somewhere in that age range. So you wonder about maturity. Their skill sets are probably going to be, a little bit slower to develop. It's enough of a concern that Commissioner Adam Silver has addressed it. Whether or not the player representation will allow that rule to be changed about the one-and-dones remains to be seen.
And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
Well, just loses his head for a moment. That's not overthinking. That's just not thinking.
Aldridge with it. Read on him. Aldridge, no good. They've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes, you just got to make that first simple pass and get a rhythm from that. Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I'll tell you, if you don't box out well, expect to get burned. You can't afford to give them second chance opportunities.
Evans dishes to Johnson. They set the pick. Passes to Thornwell. Doubled by Aldridge. Johnson, the pass to Evans. Just 4 to shoot. Read a screen. They get it again. And the rejection by Dieng.
Oh, the 7'3" wingspan erases that shot. Nice by Gorgui Dieng.
Evans kicks to Reed. They had a number of cracks at it, but came away empty-handed. Dieng dishes to Muhammad. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Dieng. Clippers have gotten only 3 of their 9 field goal attempts to go down since the end of the third. Pretty cold down the stretch. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth. Thornwell. And he didn't get quite enough under that one.
And it's something we always talk about, though, shot selection.
Yeah, that's not a good example right there. You could have worked it around to get a better opportunity.
Poke loose. Now Jones. There's the dish to Muhammad. And it's Reed pulling it down. The Clippers shooting just 30% from the field here in the fourth. Lets it go with a 3. Here's Dieng. And that one's in. He's only missed 3 of 13.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
The pass to Thornwell. Read a screen. Off the pick. And again, no good by the Clippers.
Boy, he has been cold for a while now.
Yeah, starting to look like it's taking its toll mentally. He doesn't look like himself.
Yeah, heard the whistle and then kept his focus and able to still knock it down.
Doris, wearable body tracking, such as sensors that teams use to determine stress load on players' bodies, how much they run during a game, during a practice, how fast they're going. Are we taking this thing too far?
You know, it's an excellent question. Listen, technology is increasing to the point where these teams now have a greater body of information with which to work. So I think just like we see in other areas of the game, analytics relative to team success, what's a good shot, what's a bad shot, the more information, the better. I think it comes down to an organizational decision. How much stress will we put on the information given by these particular body tracking monitors? I think it's got to be on a case-by-case basis. Certainly, the organizations will use it to the best of their abilities.
But if it helps the game, helps the players stay healthy, gives teams a better compass on how to use the players, I'm all for it.
Me too, Kev. Me too.
Evans outside. And Aldridge sends it back.
Listen, this guy's got a near 7'5" wingspan. Cole Aldridge, consistent, challenging shots.
Another miss by Minnesota. Los Angeles has gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. Evans passes to Harrell. And Jones over to help. Back to Harrell. Clock at 6. Evans with it. Jones covering. That one rolling around and rims out.
He's obviously still trying to find the range. No success this quarter. You wonder what it would take to get him to pass the ball.
Connects from three-point range.
Boy, this guy has been transcendent this quarter. Something really lit a fire underneath this guy.
Here's Thornwell. Inside. Here's Reed, and he uses the glass on the layup. Reed's got 4 points now in the quarter.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Count that one.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
Picked by Harrell. To the middle. Muhammad with it. And Muhammad throws it down.
That's about improved conditioning for Muhammad, making him a half step quicker on the drive, still strong enough to finish through contact.
Dishes it to Reed. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. Deckers check in for Wilson. Now the Timberwolves with it. They're on a 17-7 run. Here's Jang, and he got the whistle, so he'll have a three-point play opportunity.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Doris, the new designated player veteran exception allows teams to pay their biggest stars much more money than any other team can offer around the league. How good is that for the league in terms of competitive balance?
Well, you would never, to me, want to see a player like LeBron James or Kevin Durant underpaid relative to their value of the team. And I think for a long time, Kevin, that was part of this. And so I'm interested in your take. I want these guys to be fairly compensated. And that's the most important thing.
I do love when a player is developed by a team and stays with that team. We see so few of those instances in pro sports, but a lifelong Pacer or a lifelong Celtic, I think to me that has great meaning, especially if I were a fan of that team.
Well, we were so used to that as kids growing up. You know, those players stuck with our team for extended periods and many times for their entire career.
Yes. Here's Muhammad. Decker with the rebound. Decker's got his fourth rebound with that last one here tonight. Got a piece of it. Now here's Evans. Over in the corner, Decker. And again, Los Angeles with the triple.
Puts one in the eye of the defense. First triple of the evening.
Beyond the arc. That shot off, so Los Angeles will take it the other way. Beyond the arc. Second shot opportunity. A nice shot by Reed.
And you're not going to pass up that kind of thing.
Muhammad on the wing. And Muhammad throws it down.
Maybe one of those unconscious scoring nights for Muhammad. He has the skill set to do it.
Los Angeles has gone 3 of 4 from downtown here in the fourth. Out to the wing. There's a screen. Pass to Thornwell. He feeds it to Harrell. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Reed. Rebound by Jang. Jang's got double-digit rebounds now in the game. Here's Muhammad. Timberwolves working now with the new shot clock.
Oh, and a nice job of turning that miss into 2 points on the tip in.
Hustle points, I believe they call them. Hustle points right there. Evans against Jones. And now Jones running the floor all by himself.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, and he was so quick to break on that one. A good sign that he read the play.
Minnesota's gone into a funk from downtown in the fourth. Only one of their 5 3-pointers has found the bottom of the bucket.
Well, no question. Zhang is showing greater confidence on the offensive end tonight.
They're really on their heels at this point.
Yeah, on both ends of the floor, Kevin. They've lost some confidence along the way.
Down low, here's Reed. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. And here is Aldridge. And a miss there on the triple. Decker with it, now defended by Muhammad. Here's Thornwell, buries the long-range jumper.
And every set they're running looks like it's designed to produce a triple.
Well, you love how the ball is popping outside on the perimeter. It's being moved and finding the open man, and they're cashing in.
Harrell setting the pick for Evans. Here's Reed. Minnesota with the rebound. Aldridge has got his 3rd rebound tonight. Here's Jang. No good from outside. Los Angeles has gone to 3-point range for 12 of their points in the final quarter on 4 of 5 shooting. The shot's good from Evans.
Well executed, and then you love the strong finish.
Yes, you love that they're not settling for anything outside the paint. Excellent work getting right to the tin.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Timberwolves.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And so this will now translate to 14 wins on the season.
And they'll take the win tonight, setting the tone in the first matchup of this 4-game season series.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Karl Anthony Towns.
Boy, we got to see this guy's full range of offensive ability. He scored at every opportunity and in every way imaginable.
Jang, no luck. On offense, here are the Clippers. Kicks it to Evans. We've got 33 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And Aldridge sends it back. Here's Muhammad. At 3 off the mark. Here's Jang. Here's Aldridge. And they convert at last on attempt number 3.
And giving the fans what they came to see, a spirited performance.
Yeah, it really was. They wanted this home win badly, and they went out and took it.
Minnesota calls timeout. Guys, your thoughts?
You know, this is a timeout maybe just so they can pat each other on the back because no other reason to call it.
You know, I think it's an opportunity just for the coach to see some execution. Finish this thing out the right way.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and his performance has been a jaw-dropper. He must have been feeling great coming into the building tonight, because once he hit the court, it was all working for him. He was in a zone.
What a connection he has to these fans. They love him here. And the more he has games like this, the deeper that connection gets. "15 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Evans kicks to Williams. Off target from outside. Aldridge the pass to Bielitsa. And he floats in for the easy two. Credit the assist on that one.
Running up the score, showing no mercy.
At this point, they're completely overwhelming them. The opposition looks totally defeated.
So it's Minnesota winning this one easy. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Cole, you looked like you were very comfortable out there tonight. What was your mindset?
You know, I'm just trying to come out here and impact the game. You know, that's the biggest thing is when you come in the game, just give a lot of energy and do the little thing.
Added up to a big win. Thank you, Cole. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long, everyone.